Week 13 running back rankings here. I have my top 10 for this week to help you guys set the best lineup possible. Let's go ahead and throw up our rankings over here. We're going to first talk about Breece Hall taking on that Atlanta defense, who ranks 5th amongst opposing running backs here. I think it's a good opportunity for Breece Hall to really set himself apart here. The Jets offense as a whole is really struggling. They need to be leaning on Breece Hall to hopefully help them set themselves apart a little bit. I'm hoping they can keep Ritter in check to where the Jets don't really have to do much on offense, because right now their quarterback is trash. But that's okay. It looks like Aaron Rodgers is starting to practice at least now. It seems pretty good for me so far. But I like the opportunity that they got going on for him here. Dalvin Cook is completely out of the picture, right? This is Breece Hall's team. Breece Hall's going to be running the ball quite a bit. Again, I like the offensive line enough to be able to produce solid numbers for Breece Hall, even though the offense really isn't moving just due to a lack of a quarterback. But maybe they have a lot of life that's into these guys now that Aaron Rodgers is back in the fold, is at least practicing gingerly as of right now. He didn't look too great for me when he was doing a little bit of a warm-ups here. Looks he's still a little ginger, but then again, he's only, 12, 13 weeks away from the surgery that he had. So, but anyway, Breece Hall I think is a really good pick this week. I think he makes my top 10 pretty easily here, even though going against a pretty good run defense in the Falcons. I think that they may have a little bit more rejuvenation behind them with Aaron Rodgers coming back here. So that makes Breece Hall in my 10 spot. Moving right along to number 9, we're going over Kyren Williams taking on that Cleveland Browns defense, who gives up the 12th or ranks 12th amongst opposing defenses going against this running back position. Kyren Williams coming back from the IR. I thought he was going to be a little bit on this, hey, let's kind of ease this guy in a little bit. That wasn't the case. Kyren Williams got all of the carries. This dude is getting plenty of touches. And I say this on this channel all the time. Opportunity is key, especially when you're talking about like running back situations and running back a depth chart and all everything that you want with a running back in itself. When you have a lot of opportunities, a lot of the fluff can go away, whether you have a good team, bad offensive line, whatever. If you're getting 20 plus carries a game, you're probably going to have a nice fantasy score at the end of the day, as long as you're kind of okay at running the ball. And Kyren Williams is definitely okay at running the ball. I like him this week against a good Cleveland Browns defense, but the opportunity alone is going to give him enough fantasy points for you to be happy. Let's move right along here to number 8. We're talking about Austin Ekeler here going against the Patriots defense, who ranks 16th against opposing running backs. Now, New England's having a lot of struggle here. On the flip side, Eckler's having a lot of struggle here. You might be getting 10 carries from this guy. He's not the workhorse that he was last season, but like I told you guys, coming into the season, I think with Eckler's contract situation and the way he was acting up, they wasn't going to use him as a bell cow anymore. They want to see what else they have in the backfield, whether it's Kelly or Spiller or whatever the case is. They're going to give other people opportunities, and that's exactly what they're doing now. Don't get me wrong, Eckler is still the main guy in the backfield, but he's just not getting the workload that we're used to. So that drops him all the way down here at number 8. But I do believe that they should easily handle these New England Patriots. They can't do anything. This is the worst team that I've seen from the Patriots in quite a while, and that's even including last year. So I think they're going to be winning for most of the game. That's going to put them in a positive game script, which means Austin Ekeler should get plenty of carries on the ground to hopefully run out this clock. That's why I like him at number 8. Moving right along here to number 7, we're talking about Travis Etienne taking on that Cincinnati Bengals defense, who ranks 23rd against opposing running backs. I like Etienne and what he's been able to do. The consistency really isn't there for me. There have been some games here or there that Etienne's kind of almost disappeared. So overall, he's still one of the better running backs in the NFL. He's on a great offense head by Trevor Lawrence, and he's got a lot of guys on the outside, whether it's Ridley or Kirk. He got a good tight end there as well, and Evan Ingram. So the offense in whole is really good. The team is really good. Travis Etienne in a good spot to take advantage of a lot of these carries that he's probably going to be getting against a Cincinnati team who doesn't have Joe Burrow right now, so they're probably going to be a positive game script as well, which bodes well for Travis Etienne and the amount of workload that we can expect him to get. So that lands him at number 7 in my list. Chucking right along here at number 6, we're talking about Derrick Henry taking on that Indianapolis Colts defense, who's ranks 28th against opposing running backs. Derrick Henry, I told you guys last week, if you were watching the videos, that Derrick Henry was one to start, especially if you play DFS fantasy sports. Derrick Henry was a great play last week on DraftKings, but Derrick Henry, you need to get this guy in your lineup. He's still getting those bulk of the carries. You can still see him get 20 plus carries. And against an Indianapolis Colts defense who isn't very good at stopping the run, I think Derrick Henry is a great play this week. Get him in your lineup. Don't worry about how cockadoodle the whole offense is. Derrick Henry is still Derrick Henry. Get him in your lineup. Moving on to the top 5 here. At number 5, we're talking about Rachaad White taking on that Carolina Panthers defense who ranks 30th against opposing running backs. I like the consistency you're seeing from Rachaad White. Is he putting up dominant scores? No, but he's somebody who has such a safe floor because there's no other running back that's getting any opportunities in this backfield. Rachaad White has the number 1 running back locked up. The offense is good enough to move the ball up and down the field, and they've been in some positive game scripts throughout the season, which has given Rachaad White a lot of hope as far as for our fantasy ownership. So heading into the playoffs here, I think Rachaad White, if you have him on your team, you're very happy that you do, because he gives you a very safe floor to kind of dominate for you week in and week out. I do like Rachaad White this week against a terrible Panthers defense. Coming in at number 4, Bijan Robinson. He came alive finally with some touchdowns last week against the Saints. This week against the New York Jets defense, who ranks 25th against opposing running backs. I like Bijan Robinson again. It looks like they're really trying to focus on getting the ball. They were saying before we want to get him more involved into the offense, but they never really was until last week. The dude is electrifying, and against this Jets defense, he should have plenty of opportunities to put up plenty of score for you. That's why I like Bijan Robinson at 4. So moving right along, at number 3, it's going to surprise a lot of you guys, but yes, I have Christian McCaffrey down at number 3 this week, taking on that Philadelphia Eagles defense, who is the best against stopping the run. So do I think they're going to stop Christian McCaffrey? Absolutely not. You can't stop Christian McCaffrey, but you can slow him down. And I think the Eagles defense will kind of take a recipe of what the Cowboys did to Christian McCaffrey and just slow him down. So I think that he just lands at number 3. I'm not saying he's not an elite talent. He's probably the best running back in the NFL. But on this channel, I try to keep it real with everybody. We're talking about fantasy football, not real football here. Fantasy football. And if you have Christian McCaffrey, you're not sitting him, you're starting him, okay? I just have him ranked number 3 because I think there's 2 other guys on my list that I like to score even more points than Christian McCaffrey. So let's move right along. Going to number 2, it was Jonathan Taylor until he was ruled out with finger injury or something like that, so he's gonna be missing multiple games. So now we're talking about Zach Moss at number 2, taking on that Titans defense, who gives up the 14th most, or he ranks 14th against opposing running backs. I like Zach Moss, guys. It doesn't matter if it's Zach Moss starting or Jonathan Taylor starting. The situation is the same. Zach Moss is a good running back, and he showed that earlier on when Jonathan Taylor was missing. He was dominating on the field, so against this with this offensive line of the Indianapolis Colts. So don't get it twisted. I can put Zach Moss at number 2 because I believe this matchup is just too good for him. They're going to give him the ball quite a bit, and there's no Jonathan Taylor behind him to take any repetitions away. Zach Moss will get a plethora of carries. I'm saying 20 plus carries for Zach Moss, at least another touchdown. You never know. He loves getting those 40-yard touchdown runs, 50-yard touchdown runs. So I think we see a big carry from Zach Moss as well against this Titans defense, and I think he's definitely number 2 on my list. Move right along. Going to number 1 here, the best running back, I believe, number 1 in my rankings this week is Alvin Kamara, taking on that Lions defense, who ranks 8th against opposing running backs. I like Alvin Kamara as far as what he is for the New Orleans Saints. He is everything for the Saints. With all the injuries they have, with Michael Thomas gone, Rashid Shaheed's probably not going to play. We'll see. As of this recording right now, it's not guaranteed that Chris Olave will be there. I think he will be. He's already practicing again, not fully out of the concussion protocol just yet. We'll have to make sure you check before game time for Chris Olave. But either way it goes, Alvin Kamara is everything for this offense. He runs the ball for them. He catches the ball for them. Alvin Kamara, they're going to need him quite a bit to even have a chance against the Lions. The Lions are very hot. The Saints are not. Alvin Kamara, you ever heard of that thing where the squeaky wheel kind of gets the oil type of thing? I think Alvin Kamara, by saying that the offense just doesn't have an identity yet, even though the head coach disagreed with him, I think the squeaky wheel in this case is Alvin Kamara, and he should have plenty of opportunities to succeed. I love what he's bringing. I love the opportunity for Alvin Kamara. As always, I do appreciate you guys watching the video. make sure you do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. We're dropping videos every single week, multiple videos. We really want to help you hoist a championship at the end of the season. We're approaching onto the playoffs. Can't wait to help you guys set the best lineup possible. Leave a comment down below. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button for me. Helps out with the algorithm. We're really close to 700 subscribers. Can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.